evening, everyone. Thanks for coming this evening. My name is Jenny. How's everybody feeling tonight?
Good.
Fine.
According to the CDC, 67 million people say the same thing. That's the amount of people in the United States that have high blood pressure. Of those 67 million, 53 million of those people are totally unaware they have high blood pressure. High blood pressure is known as the silent killer. It has no symptoms usually, unless you're in a crisis situation. And some of those symptoms could be a severe headache, severe anxiety, nosebleed, or shortness of breath, according to the American Heart Association. According to the CDC, when you have high blood pressure, you're 4 times as likely to die from a stroke, 3 times as likely to die from heart disease. High blood pressure accounts for more than 1,000 deaths per day. What determines high blood pressure? According to the CDC, it's when your systolic number, or your top number, is greater than 140, and that's when your heart contracts. When your diastolic, or when your heart is at rest, greater than 90. I know these are some scary figures, but there's a couple ways to combat high blood pressure. Besides a healthy diet, healthy weight, not smoking, and limiting your alcohol use, you can monitor your blood pressure. As a patient care technician at a local hospital, taking blood pressures is one of my responsibilities. Today I'm going to demonstrate how easy it is to take your blood pressure or the blood pressure of someone else. The equipment that you need is a sphygmometer, which is this, and a blood pressure cuff, and a stethoscope. There are many varieties of sphygmometers. There can be a manual, and also a digital, which could be a wrist or an arm cuff. This particular cuff has the bell of the stethoscope already attached into the cuff. Sometimes that's easier if you're taking your own blood pressure. If you're hard of hearing or taking your own blood pressure, you can probably do the digital, would be a little easier. Today I'm going to use Jacob as my patient and take his blood pressure. And Velcro the cuff. Securely attach it to the patient's upper arm, just above the bend of the elbow. The bulb of the blood pressure cuff, you want to tighten the knob, but not too tight because you're going to eventually open that up. Lay the dial of the sphygmometer either on the cuff, or if it's easier, just lie it on the table within vision reach. You'll want to determine where to put the bell of the sphygmometer, or of the stethoscope, onto the bend of the arm. You want to feel for the pulse, and that's where you would apply the stethoscope. In order to determine how much you want to inflate the cuff, you'll want to do a test. Tighten the valve, or make sure it's tightened. Feel for the pulse. You're going to pump up the cuff, and once you do that, you're going to want to read the dial and remember that number. What you're going to do is that as the cuff inflates, you're going to pump it up until you no longer feel the pulse, and you're going to want to remember that number. His is approximately 120. You're going to want to deflate the cuff. And make sure you tighten the valve again. And now you're ready to take his blood pressure. Place the earpieces of the stethoscope in your ear. Apply the bell of the stethoscope into the bend of the arm where you felt the pulse. And now you're ready to inflate the cuff. When you're doing this, you'll remember the number that you used. You'll want to go 30 points above that number. Once you're there, you want to unscrew the valve slowly and listen for the heartbeat. When you hear the heartbeat, this will be your top number of your blood pressure. When you no longer hear the heartbeat, this will be your bottom number. Remove the bell of the stethoscope and unvelcro the tape. Your blood pressure was approximately 102/65. Once you've done that, you've successfully taken the blood pressure. Today I've shown you the easy way to take a blood pressure. Although this is a useful tool, don't self-diagnose. Make sure you take your results to your physician or your local health care provider and discuss the results. But remember, if you take your blood pressure and you do receive a result of 140/90, make sure you seek medical attention immediately. Thank you.